Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Ones Real Talks podcast. I'm your host, John, here with my guy, Will.
What's up?
And today we kind of have a pretty cool episode. We're breaking off from our normal, I would say, regimen? We got a Halloween special. So we're going to talk about some spooky stories, kind of catch up on what's been going on with both of us lately. And yeah, we're just going to kind of jump in. So what have you been up to lately?
A lot of work. I've been very busy. We actually kind of forgot about the podcast. I did, at least. And we had like a set record date because I always wanted to do a Halloween episode. And we had a set date to do it a few days ago, but
We both kind of forgot.
I forgot and my schedule was so busy. But hey, we're back now.
On Halloween.
Yep. And we're starting to conclude our first season here soon, so we're kind of numbing
Winding
ourselves down. Yeah, winding ourselves down to it. So,
But yeah, so I've been working, more working. However, we did have some, I would call it was a nice little bit relaxing
it was
weekend.
a very nice trip.
So we took a young adult trip down to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area. So it was pretty nice. Went on some cool hikes.
Yeah, it was a 2-mile uphill. So within the 2 miles, you climbed 1,300 feet, and it was something. It was very fun, and it was worth the hike.
Yeah, worth the pain.
But it quickly revealed to John and I both that we need to get in better shape because we were exhausted.
Hey, though, we had a ladies' man with us.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he powered through like a champ,
Yeah.
dude. So
Yeah.
shout out to ladies' man.
Yeah, he'll be on here soon.
Yeah, he will. We'll introduce him as the ladies' man.
Yeah.
But all right, so I have a couple spooky stories
Ooh.
that are tied into our recent trip. So obviously we're in the Appalachian Mountains, so I'm going to talk about some Appalachian people.
Ooh.
What are you going to talk about?
What a great question. You put me on the spot.
Dude, he's always unprepared.
It's a story about someone in a hotel. I don't want to give too much away.
All right. What it's just creepy people, I guess.
It's you'll see. If me saying that, like, if people have heard about it, they already know from what I said there. And then we're also going to talk about a Halloween story.
All right, so before we jump in, hopefully, I know everybody's going to be listening to this after Halloween, but hopefully it's in the evening. Get yourself a cup of hot chocolate or settle down by the fire. But we'll kind of jump in. You want to go ahead and start your story?
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah, I'll let you start.
Okay, dude. This is I've heard this story before, and so kind of reading on it, it's a little freaky, but the story begins at the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, a place with a sinister history linked to multiple suicides, murders, and even temporary residence of serial killers like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. In 2013, the hotel had been Wow. In 2013, the hotel had been rebranded as the Stay on Main, but its reputation remained dark. In January 2013, 21-year-old Canadian student Alyssa Lamb was staying at the hotel while traveling alone. She maintained daily contact with her parents back in Vancouver, but on January 31st, the communication abruptly stopped. She failed to check out, and the LAPD launched a search. The elevator footage. The primary and most disturbing piece of evidence is a surveillance video released by the LAPD. It shows Alyssa Lamb in the hotel elevator on the night she vanished, behaving in an extremely unsettling manner. She enters the elevator and presses multiple floor buttons. She stands near the door, peering frantically out into the hallway, then quickly backs into the corner as if hiding from someone. She leaves the elevator, steps out into the hall, and begins to gesticulate wildly with her hands, seemingly talking to an unseen person or presence. She then walks out of the camera's view, and the elevator doors finally close. The footage is eerie, slowed down, and unnaturally distorted in some places. leading to immediate public theories of paranormal activity or video manipulation. Weeks later, hotel guests began contemplating about. I'm sorry. Wow, that's terrible. Let me restart. The horrifying discovery. Weeks later, hotel guests began complaining about very low water pressure, and the water coming from their taps was dark, discolored, and tasted strange.
Oh.
A maintenance worker was sent to the roof to check the 4 1,000-gallon water tanks that supplied the entire hotel. To reach them, he had to take a service elevator, go up a staircase with a locked and alarmed door, which he had to unlock, climb a 10-foot ladder to the top of the tanks. Inside one of the tanks, floating face up on the water, he found Alyssa Liam's decomposing body. Her death was officially ruled an accidental drowning, with bipolar disorder listed as contributing factor, suggesting she may have been experiencing a psychotic episode and climbed in for refuge. However, the finding did little quiet. Did what in the world? However, the finding did little to quiet the speculation. How did she get into the tank? The roof access was locked and alarmed, and the heavy tank lid was found open. Why were her clothes nearby? Her body was found naked, with her clothes and room key lying on the water next to her. Internet sleuths pointed out that the tuberculosis outbreak that affected the Skid Row area of LA years earlier was known as the Lam-Elsa test, an unsettling similarity to her name. Elsa Liam's case remains a deeply disturbing unsolved puzzle trapped in the dark legacy of the Cecil Hotel.
Dude, that's kind of freaky.
Yeah, excuse my messed up grammar the whole time.
Could you imagine being the person in that hotel and be like, oh, why is this water brown? It kind of smells weird.
Well, could you imagine finding out that you've been drinking
Death?
decomposed body water?
Yeah. I'd be like, I want my money back and I want a credit for another hotel.
Yeah. How did she get up there, though?
I wonder if it was an inside job.
A maintenance elevator, stairs, an alarmed door.
Ready? What
Had
if
to
it
be a
was the maintenance guy?
What if it was the maintenance man?
Like, what if, okay, so you know how, like, they have different shifts and stuff? What if it was, like, one of the other maintenance guys did it?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, that's sus.
I mean, if it was a psychotic episode, still, how did she get up there?
Yeah, that's, how does that all get unlocked and everything? And you can't just wander up there. So I feel like it was an inside job.
Yeah, that'd be my guess, but it's unsolved. It's an unsolved mystery.
Yeah. That's kind of creepy. All right, so mine, obviously we're going to talk about the mountain people. And you know, have you seen, like, you've heard about all the, like, weird stories about the mountain people, right?
Some.
Like the Appalachian people, how, like, at night you close, like, obviously we do this here, but you close all your blinds, you don't go out. You sure as heck don't go in the woods in the middle of the night by yourself or with anybody, period.
Right.
So this one is, and the timeline actually works out pretty good. So it's set in late October, and it's called The Mountain People of the Ridge. So it was late October, and the kind of night when the fog rolls low and every sound in the woods just seems close. So a hiker named Tom had been out for 3 days on an old trail deep in the Appalachian Mountains, a path the locals never used. He found an old ranger map, and it marked the only kind of that marked the trail. It was just a faded dotted line, and it was the word ridge. So by dusk, the trees grew thick around him, and he decided to make a camp near the fallen oak. And then he was building a fire as the temperatures dropped. The night was still, no crickets, no wind, just the hiss of snaps of the firewood. He ate and read his guidebook and stared into the flame until he began to nod off. That's when he heard it. Soft footsteps crunching leaves just beyond the firelight. He froze and called out, "Hello?" Nothing. Then another step, closer this time. He shined his flashlight towards the ridge above him. For a second, he caught a shape of a figure, tall, thin, standing perfectly still among the trees. The light flickered, and then the figure was gone. Tom tried to shake it off. Oh, maybe it's just another hiker, a deer. But the fog thickened, and he began to hear low whispers, voices just on the edge of hearing. They rose and fell like the wind, but not quite. Words formed distant and hollow. Why do you wander our trails? The voice didn't come from one direction, it seemed to come from everywhere. He spun around, scanning the woods with his light. Now there were several figures on the ridge, pale-faced, long limbs, eyes like embers reflecting in the firelight. They began to move, slow, deliberate, and circling the camp. Tom's heart immediately pounded as he stumbled backwards. "Who's there?" he shouted. A woman's voice answered, cracked and echoing. "These mountains keep us. We guard what the world forgets." Then silence. The fire hissed and went out, smothered by the sudden gust. In the dark, Tom could hear the crunching of the footsteps closer. He scrambled for his pack, hands shaking, and ran blindly down the trail. The voices followed, whispering, chanting something too old to understand. When he finally reached his truck near dawn, his clothes were torn and muddy. He didn't stop driving until he reached town. When he told the locals what happened, they didn't laugh, they just simply listened. Finally, an old man behind the counter said, "You met the mountain people?" "Some say they were the first, folks who never left when the mine closed. Others say they weren't ever really human. Either way, they don't take kindly to visitors." Weeks later, Tom went back to get his gear. The campsite looked untouched, except for the stones someone had arranged in a perfect circle around his fire that had been. And pressed deep in the mud beside it, a footprint, too long, too narrow to be human or to be a bear. And that's kind of where the story ends. I would be freaked out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have went back.
No, y'all keep my stuff. I'm good. And especially, I would have taken people with me.
Yeah.
Or at least a gun. But I would
Yeah.
not have gone back by myself.
No.
And
Absolutely.
the first, I shine my light and I see a figure. Deuces, I'm out.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm leaving.
Yeah, especially if you're solo.
And why would you do that?
Because you're a moron. It's a death wish.
Or it could have been like the guy we met at the waterfall. Remember the hike to the
yeah.
waterfall?
Yeah.
And didn't he say he would camp out there?
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, no, I would not do that. Y'all can call me a chicken all you want. There's no way I'm staying by myself in the middle of the woods in a hammock.
I wouldn't at night.
No, at night. But he said he camped there.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember he said he would make the coffee and everything in the morning?
Yeah. No, count me out.
Yeah. Pass.
Count me out.
All right, what other story you got?
All right. Let's see. The Halloween moon was a sickly orange as Alara drove down the narrow, fog-choked back road. She'd stayed too long at her friend's costume party, and now, miles from any town, the winding road felt like a serpent constricting her little car. A chill, unrelated to the damp night, crawled up her spine. She glanced in her rearview mirror, half expecting to see a police cruiser, but the road behind her was empty, just a swirling vortex of cold mist. She adjusted her grip on the steering wheel, trying to focus on the faint yellow center line. That's when she saw it, a dark, hunched-over shape at the edge of the woods, right by a faded, crooked sign she couldn't read in the gloom. It was too fast, too sudden. She didn't have time to brake. A sickening thud vibrated through the car's chassis. Alara slammed on the brakes, her heart hammering against her ribs. She hit something. For a moment, she couldn't move, paralyzed by dread. Then the silence of the woods pressed in. broken only by the tick of the cooling engine she had to check. She forced herself out, the cold air immediately biting her skin. The fog was denser here, wrapping around her ankles like tendrils. She rounded the front of the car, shining her phone flashlight into the mist. Nothing. There was no dent, no blood, no body, just the wet road. A scattering of dead leaves and a sense of crushing emptiness. Must have been a branch, she thought, though she knew the sound was too heavy for that. Release worried with a lingering, unsettling doubt. As she turned to get back in, a tiny, almost inaudible sound made her freeze. It was a damp, dragging noise coming from the passenger side. Alara slowly raised her eyes and looked through the passenger window. In the seat, where her coat lay, a figure was sitting up. It was tall and impossibly thin, dressed in something that looked tattered, mud-soaked burlap, but it wasn't the clothes that made her scream. The figure's face was grotesque, stretched together, sack with 2 holes for eyes that were completely black. And from the empty black hole of its mouth, it was grinning. It didn't move towards her, it just sat there, still and silent. The sackcloth grinned, stretching wider, knowing she had seen it. Alara didn't hesitate. She scrambled back to the driver's side, fumbling with the lock. She threw the car into drive and sped away, tires squealing it against the wet road. She never looked in the rearview mirror again, never once glanced at the seat beside her. She drove until the orange moon was lost behind the lights of her city, until the fog was just a distant memory. She finally pulled into her driveway, jumped out of the car, ran inside, locking the door and turning on every light. It wasn't until the first pale light of dawn crept through her curtains that she went back out to retrieve her things. She opened the car door. The passenger seat was empty. Her coat was still there, rampled and forgotten, but resting on the center console, in the exact spot where the figure's hand would have been, was a single, tiny, brittle leaf, perfectly dry and crisp, as if it had been pressed for 100 years, and stuck to it as a single long black thread. She didn't touch it. She sold the car the next day and never drove on the back road again. But sometimes when she's alone, she still hears the distant, faint sound of dragging, just outside her door.
I would have mag dumped it.
Dude. It's like one of those things where you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, dude, there's a spooky thing there. And you flip the light on, it's just like your jacket on the seat. You know?
Yeah.
Like I wonder if it was just like her jacket on the seat and she freaked out. But then
Yeah, but what'd she hit?
a stick. Was she drunk?
Maybe. I don't know.
Costume party?
I'll tell you this. If I'm on a back road, like a creepy, freaky back road, and I hit something and my car is still driving,
I'm gonna keep driving.
I'm just going to keep driving.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Whatever it is, shouldn't have been in the road in the first place.
No.
And the likelihood it's a human, very, very low. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she could barely make it out. Like she thought she hit something. She didn't know what it was.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
That's
I'm at least
crazy.
phoning our friend, be like, hey, I'm getting out of my car. Here's exactly where I'm at.
Live 360, bro.
Yeah. Dude. You have any like personal scary stories? Like anything ever happened to you weird?
Man. Okay. Yeah, I have a couple. Okay, I'll talk about 2 if you're cool with that.
Yeah, I got one. That's kind of a
so I'll
decent
talk about my
story.
2 because they're kind of quick. So one, I have a video of this, but I won't show anyone. But we have one of these abandoned buildings we check, and it's a assisted living facility.
It's an old assisted.
Yeah, and so old people would live there who needed assistance, and obviously they'd pass away there. And we check it once a week, make sure there's no leaks. And one day I walked in there and I went to go check my hall, and like each room has like one of those buttons they press next to their bed, like an emergency.
Yeah, I've fallen and I can't get up button.
Yeah, kind of. And so you press that button and it comes on in the nurse's station. And that light stays solid, like a solid light, until someone walks in the room and hits acknowledge in the room. And so I walk in there and I have to pass the nurse's station to get to the hallway I was going to go check. And the light was on solid. And so I'm standing there and then it flickers, like off and then back on. And so I'm like, okay. And I'm the kind of person, like, I'll be the person to walk in the basement. I'll be the first person to walk. I'm just that stupid. And so for me, like, first I pop up on my phone, I record that that's happening. And I'm like, okay. So I walk through the door, I walk down the hallway into the room, and of course there's nothing in there, so I had acknowledge. I'm guessing it was just a bug, like a little something like a wire short. But another gruesome, like not gruesome, another kind of creepy story in that building is my boss's dad used to stay there. And my boss was a maintenance man when that building was still open. And there was talks, like, so his dad, his next door neighbor, had passed away one morning. And while this taking the body out, his dad was like, hey, what happened to the guy in the black hat? I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, a dude, a tall guy with a suit and a black hat walked in that room last night. Where did he go? My boss was like, what? And then ever since he heard that, there's like multiple reports of the elders, like the old people in that building, talking about a tall man in a hat walking in the rooms. And then coincidentally, the next day, the person would be dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's horrifying.
Yeah. Another story I have is it's kind of funny and creepy at the same time. But when I was a teenager, I have two siblings that sleepwalk. I have my little sister and then Graham, who's been on the podcast before. But my little sister was probably 6, 7 around this time.
Gosh, I'm gonna cut that out.
And when I was young, obviously I gamed like all night, dude. So summer break, I'm sitting there, I'm gaming, and all of a sudden my sister comes walking down the stairs. It's 3 in the morning. And I look over at him like, what's going on? She looks at me, stands like in the corner. It's dark down there. Stands in the corner and just starts crying. Just looking at me crying. And I'm like, what's going on? Just no response. Just standing there staring at me. So I stand up. I walk over to her. I'm like, okay, let's go back to bed. So I'm walking her up the stairs the whole time, and she's just crying the whole way up the stairs. And then I put her back in bed. And I got back on the game, and my buddies were like, what was that? And I was like, my little sister was like sleepwalking. They're like, that sounded so creepy, dude. And I'm like, try being in the room.
Yeah, when that happens, you're like,
Dude, like, just imagine, like, sit on the couch in your house and look at like a corner of the room that's dark. She was standing there just crying like that, dude.
oh man.
It was so creepy.
Yeah, so mine is okay. So I went to school. This building has it kind of had a lot of history to it. So where I went to school, I went to a small like private Christian school, and every morning we have like assembly, and we would like sing a praise and worship song and then go. So I was in charge of I would queue up I'd turn the soundboard on, get all that stuff ready. I would queue up the song and everything. Well, I'd usually go in there by myself. I wouldn't turn all the lights on. So you'd walk in. So there was the main like sanctuary, and then there's the balcony. And we would always just use the balcony. So it's creepy. Like, you know how like the old churches, like the ceilings creak and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You'd have that stuff, but I'd been doing it for a long time, so I never really thought anything of it. But in this building, there's this and there's so many stories about it. And even like people that weren't like associated or like heard those stories, they'd be like, hey, like I had this happen to me and describe this thing to a T. And so it's almost like me on all fours, like, but like fully my backup and everything. But you can go like freaky fast. It's weird. It's just all black, and that's what it is. It's basically, it looks like a human on all fours, but it can move super fast.
Huh.
And no joke, you can fact check me with my sisters because they experienced this too. So I was up there one morning. I'm pretty sure it was like stormy, rainy, or whatever, but it was dark because it was obviously during school season. So like it gets dark.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in there, and there's at the soundboard, there's just a little lamp. So you just turn the little lamp on, do your thing. So I'm cueing everything, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out the song, do everything, and I get this overwhelming like weight on me, like something's watching me, and I'm like, "What is this?" I'm like, you know how you just like shrug stuff off,
Yeah.
and it just gets heavier and heavier, dude. My heart just starts like pumping like fast. I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I'm just gonna get this done and I'm gonna leave. I don't know what it is. It's freaking me out. Whatever. So I'm sitting there, and in the corner of my eye, I see something move. And I'm like, let's just get this done. Like, whatever. And people would come in and try to mess with you.
Yeah.
And so I remember seeing something move, and I look over and I'm like, guys, that's not funny. And when I do that, I look. And you know, like a dog or a cat's eyes, if you shine a flashlight at night in its
Yeah.
eyes, that's exactly what I saw in that weird, freaky creature thing.
Oh my god.
And I turn, look, and I just scream at the top of my lungs, and I book it the other direction. And I come running out. I'm freaking out. I don't even remember who I went and talked to. Dude, I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, I'm not going in there ever. Like, I don't know what that was, but that wasn't like human. I don't know what it was, and it wasn't anybody. Like, nobody came out of that sanctuary.
What in the world?
And then so we had, now don't ask why I had access to this, because I probably shouldn't have, but I had access to the security cameras, so you could go in and watch like the cameras and stuff. And you know, like orbs,
Yeah.
like how cameras can pick them up, and people are like, oh, well, it's dust and this, and this. I'd agree with you about 90% of the time. So it was on a Thursday, so that it was a church that was there. It was a Thursday, and they had done band practice every Thursday. Well, as soon as band practice finished, the last person came out of the sanctuary, turned the lights off, and proceeded to like just leave the building. And so the camera it recorded 24/7. And I was sitting there watching it, and the person left, turned the lights off, walked out of the door, and I see this huge, like a big bright orb just float on down, and it cracked open like an egg. And it was just this black figure standing there, and then the cameras glitched out and stopped working.
Whoa.
And then like 30 seconds later, the cameras popped back on. Everything was fine. It was gone.
That's
And
crazy.
I had the video saved on one of my phones, and I can't find it. And I actually had somebody from high school message me on Facebook. It was like, hey, do you still have that video? And I'm like, I think so. I'm like, I can never find it. But dude, that building had the freakiest stuff happen.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, those are my two. And it's still like, I can picture that, what happened in that balcony to this day. And you can't explain it.
Let's go in that balcony, dude.
I still have a key to that building.
Actually?
Actually.
That's great.
Yeah. And the doors really don't lock anyway. So like there's back ways you can get in. But yeah, that building was freaky. And then you'd have people break it, like homeless people and stuff like that. People break in all the time. So like you're always weary being in there, because there'd be people, like sometimes there'd be people.
Yeah. If this podcast gets 10,000 likes,
We will
go in that and vlog it. We will vlog.
Yeah,
our experience
10,000.
there.
We got to get 10,000 listens. 10,000 listens or likes. But
10,000 likes on YouTube or 10,000 listens on Spotify.
or collective. We'll make it easy. Collectively.
Collectively.
Collectively. So it's say 5,000 on
Yeah.
Spotify, 5,000 on YouTube. We'll do it. I'll have Danielle video it.
Okay.
She'll come with us and video it, but I don't think she would, because she'd be too freaked out.
Okay.
You should seriously talk to her, because she's had some freaky things happen too with that
Okay.
same weird figure.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I got one more story. Do you have one more?
No, I don't.
Or you did your second one?
Yeah.
All right. I got one more story. And then we'll just kind of play it by ear after that. So this one is, to the far of my knowledge, based on a true story. And once again, we're going with mountain Appalachian people. So this is a story called The Lantern Man of Blue Hollow. So they say every valley in the Appalachian Mountains has its own ghost story. But one that stuck with me comes from a place called Cold Hollow, a narrow mining town tucked between two ridges, long since abandoned. So early in the 1900s, the miners there worked deep tunnels with nothing but oil lamps and luck. One of them, Elias Moore, carried a lantern with a blue glass chimney, said it never went out, no matter the wind or the rain or the environment. One winter's night, there was a cave-in. Yeah, there was a cave-in. The mountain groaned like thunder. Dozens escaped, but Elias never came out. They sealed the shaft, said it was too dangerous to dig further. But that wasn't the end of Elias Moore, because after the mine was sealed, people began to see a light on the ridge, a dim, flickering blue glow, moving slow through the fog. At first, they thought it was someone searching for bodies, but the light kept appearing years later and even decades later. Always the same pale hue, swaying like a lantern in a steady hand. Travelers started calling it the Lantern Man. Some said he walked the old road every night, searching for the way out. Others said he was warning people away, keeping them from making the same mistake. But there's also another story, a darker one, that if you saw the Lantern Man's light and followed it, he would lead you deep into the woods where the air grows cold and the path disappears. And when the light went out, you would be gone too. So in 1878, two hunters went missing near Cold Hollow. Their trucks were found parked on the roadside, engines still running. Their rifles leaned against the bed. No footprints led away, just tire marks and frost. Search dogs traced the faint scent halfway up the ridge, then refused to go any further. That night, the sheriff said he saw something from the porch, a faint blue glow weaving through the trees, right where the mine used to be. He watched it until it vanished, and he swore he heard the sound of metal clinking, like a lantern chain swinging in the dark. Even today, hikers say that on foggy nights, when the air turns still and you can see your breath, a pale blue light moves through Cold Hollow. If you see it, don't follow it, because Elias Moore never stopped walking, and he might just be looking for someone to take his place.
Creepy.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah. So back to, I think I said this
This
right.
video gets 100,000.
No. No, before our trip, one of the guys was like, I want to go on a sunrise hike. I want to hike in at dark and get to the like ridge and then watch the sunrise. And I was like, you've heard of the Appalachian people, right? And he's like, no, what's that? And I'm like, dude, there's like people that live in those woods that are like cannibals and freaks.
Yeah.
So we didn't do that. I think it would be cool, but
No.
like, yeah.
I don't gamble with that.
Yeah, no, it's it's a I think like genuinely I think it's a real thing. I don't know what they are exactly, but I don't want to find out. So
No,
I
neither would I.
I took a well here's kind of a I guess let's say a third story is so I have a side by side and we'll go down to like Brimstone and stuff like that. Like we'll go down in Tennessee and stuff. And one of my buddies I ride with, we always bring a gun.
Yeah.
Just for safety, if there's a bear or whatever, always have a gun. So one of us broke down, and I think it was me. I think my drive belt snapped or something. And so we're working on fixing it. And we start hearing, no joke, it sounded just like the first story. We started hearing like footsteps. And like the difference between like an animal moving through the woods and somebody else, like a person.
Yeah.
I think the footsteps are different. So we start hearing that, and you're just like freaked out. And then my buddy's like, "Hey guys, everybody get their gun and just shine your flashlights 360 because there's like 10 or 15 of us." So we all kind of circle, and as soon as we turned on our lights, the noise stopped. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, whatever. So about 5-10 minutes goes by. Obviously, we want to conserve our battery life, turn them off, except right where we're working. And then you hear the footsteps again. So now I'm like freaked out. I'm like, listen, I'm like, if I see anything move, I'm not asking questions. I'm just shooting.
Yeah.
At this point, like, I'm not going to wait till I see whatever that freaky thing coming out of the woods is. I'm just shooting.
Oh yeah.
So, thankfully, we were able to quickly get it and fire it up. And like, I was horrified jumping back in because it takes a minute because you got to strap in like 5-point harness and everything.
Right.
And I was like, bruh, what are the odds? Like, we're all now strapped in. We can't get out quickly. And they all like bum rush us. So I was like, okay, guys, like, let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't like weird stuff in the woods because
No.
there's too many weird stories.
The woods are way too open. There's so many things that can go on in the woods.
Yeah. No, I'm not a night woods person.
No.
Okay, and I say that, but I've gone to like Red River Gorge and we've done night hikes or we've been out and then it like turns night and then we're like, oh, hey, we got to get back. But I don't know.
Right.
Those are less creepy, I think.
Yeah. I haven't really been in the forest at night, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh, you should do it. You should go alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that'd be a good thing.
It'd be cool if we pulled like I don't know if you know who Sam and Colby are, but it'd be cool if we pulled a Sam and Colby. They go through and like walk through haunted places. I wouldn't do haunted places though. I just want to do abandoned places.
So I'm fine with like the jump scares and all of that type stuff. Anything I classify it, it's like spiritual or demonic. I don't like that because that
No.
stuff's real.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if this is just me being chicken, but I feel like when you intentionally go to those like demonic places, you're going to leave with something.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want that in my house. I don't want it
Okay.
to follow me, so I just avoid those type of places.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, so knock on wood. This is real wood. My brother-in-law made this. It's actually really nice. I love it. He made that.
Wow.
Yeah. So the first night I spent in this house, I was horrified because I was like, great. I'm like, this is an older house. With older houses come weird noises. And so I laid down and went to bed. I'm a quiet sleeper, so I have like my ceiling fan and that's it. And it's dead quiet. That first night I was like, all right, come on, like let's hear it. Where's my new co-tenants here? Like, let's introduce ourselves, let's get it over with, let's get to know each other,
Yeah.
Nothing. At all. The house doesn't creak. There's no weird noises. Like even right now it's what? 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
And do you hear any weird noises?
No.
Any of that? Nothing. So knock on wood.
So at my house, never had anything recently, but when we first moved in, we called him Greg. But like the lights would randomly turn off and stuff. Another creepy thing, kind of, in a way, we think it's it was cool, but also kind of creepy. Is my family on my mom's side, my great grandfather, who actually he's the one who bought that F-150 I have. I have a '96 F-150. It got gifted to me for a Christmas present. Thanks, Grandma. But my great grandfather, he like established the area where a lot of her family lives, and so the house that they lived in, my great grandma had passed away in there, and so did he. Um, but my oldest sister had moved in there for a little bit, and she would notice like weird things happen. Nothing like spooky or like demonic, if you will, but kind of like funny and kind gestures. Like she would walk upstairs and see the TV was turned on to like my great grandfather's favorite channel, and things like that. The biggest thing to notate that I remember was the TV being turned on, and like my sister looked at it as a kind gesture, like, "Oh, he's in here watching TV. My grandfather's in here watching TV." But yeah, it's
That that's so difficult. I would be so freaked out on that just because one, like I don't know your grandfather's like spiritual like where he was at. Like I don't know if he was a believer or not.
yeah, he was. He was a saved man.
So when you take that and so he's saved, so you obviously you know
Yeah,
he's going to
going to
heaven
heaven.
and you have that, it almost wants it freaks me out more because I feel like it's an evil spirit trying to mimic
Could have been.
that to get you comfortable.
Yeah.
I, I don't know. That stuff weirds
Oh,
me out.
dude, she was pregnant at the time too. She didn't have her kid there.
Ooh.
Another exorcist story.
All right, I want to.
Crazy.
You got your phone.
Yeah.
Ask ChatGPT. Like plug that in. Like what? Like see what that says.
What? Like tell it the story I just gave?
Yeah. Like briefly. Like snippet. Because I just want to see what it tries to say. Like what the rationale would be for that. Because I almost. I don't know. That can't be. It is literally impossible that it was him. But it had to have been something. And I don't think it could be an angel because I don't think they interact like that. And I don't see the benefit of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a slow typer, guys.
Yeah, I am.
It's okay. I got the dog over here zonked out. It's way past her bedtime. All right, I'm going to have to play the Jeopardy music.
I'm typing.
I know, you got to hurry up, dude. You got to type way faster. Here we go. Ready?
I got it. Creepy music. Dude, the editing software is just gonna block out the space in which I wasn't.
Yeah,
on.
it is. Yeah.
All
right, what's it say?
First, I'll let you know what I typed. So my great grandfather passed away in the house that my sister moved into. She noticed things happening like the TV turning on to his favorite channel. He was a saved, God-fearing man. What does this mean? Google responds with,
Dun dun dun.
So, from a general perspective on grief and spirituality, why am I
Spirituality?
Thank you. It's 10:43 and I'm tired. Unexplained events like electronics turning on or off, lights flickering, or a specific scent appearing are often interpreted as signs from a deceased loved one. A visit or presence. Many people believe that these kinds of occurrences, especially in a familiar place like his house, are a way for a loved one to let their family know that they are present and perhaps at peace. A specific action, the TV turning to his favorite channel, can be seen as a clear, personal, and comforting sign that he is okay in thinking of the family. Some spiritual beliefs suggest that spirits can interact and manipulate electrical energy. Given that your great-grandfather was a saved, God-fearing man, the interpretation can also be viewed through a Christian lens, which offers few different perspectives. Some Christians believe that God may allow a special non-biblical sign to bring comfort to a grieving family. They view it as movement of grace from God, who knows the depths of the family's loss and offers a unique reassurance. Other Christian traditions emphasize that the souls of the saved ones are immediately present with the Lord in heaven and are not generally able to return to the earth to communicate. From this view, such occurrences might be seen as coincidences or occasionally as a spiritual event that is not related to the spirit of the deceased loved one. Focus on the scripture. This view encourages finding peace and assurance about his well-being solely in promises of scripture that he is with God, rather than seeking confirmation through physical signs. Ultimately, the meaning of this event rests with your sister and your family. If the experience brought her peace and comfort, seeing it as a love sign from a beloved family member can be a beautiful way to continue honoring his memory.
I don't like its answer.
It gave multiple choices, so you kind of got to pick.
Yeah. So I don't know though. So this is where we're gonna lean on to you viewers. What do you guys? What's your thoughts on that? Leave a comment.
Yeah.
And then also, if you guys have any spooky stories to share, type it out, send it, and we may read it in the next podcast. Who knows?
We'll like it so that way other people can read it.
Oh, if we like it, does it make? I thought it was all public.
Yeah, you can pin it.
Oh,
on
pin
YouTube.
it. Yeah,
It's
okay.
like you can pin it to the top.
Okay, yeah, we'll pin it. Whatever
Yeah.
that does, yeah.
Even though we won't get a lot of we don't get a lot of comments right now, but if we do and people come back and listen to this, they'll see that those are.
What are you talking about? We're gonna get 10,000
Yeah, if they
listens
want us to
this.
go.
Yeah, B&E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go see a spooky.
I mean,
tall
we
figure.
could. I think I'm good enough. I could bullcrap my way out of that if the cops showed up.
You don't think you can talk to the people there and be like, "Hey, we want to."
No way. Of what it is now, because it's no longer a church or a school. Well, it's a prep academy or something like that now. I don't think there'd be any way. Although we could interview them because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that kids live there.
Oh.
So they changed it to like a preparatory academy. Yeah, see if they've seen it, dude. We
gosh, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
10,000 likes.
Come on, guys, do better. Let's get it there. Or we could do a separate podcast of everybody that's been affected by that.
Oh my god.
And make it a little spin-off docu-series or something.
We could.
Yeah, the spooky within.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
But all right, you got any other stories or anything you want to share?
I don't.
Hey, ready? So we had a young adult Halloween party on Thursday. Will, what were you?
I dressed up as a woman.
Yeah, it was pretty hilarious.
Hey. I embodied that woman.
Dude, I think you did it a little too well.
Yeah.
It was quite concerning.
Yeah. I was the main character that night.
I was a taco.
Dude, I don't know if you noticed, but like after everything was done and I got into my normal clothes, I was so mentally exhausted from trying so hard. I just sat on the couch on my phone for the rest of the event.
You were like zoned out the rest of the time.
I was.
No, that was good.
Dude.
I'm gonna should I put the picture in the
No.
in the podcast?
No.
Comment it in the comments.
If this gets 5,000, you know what? No, if this gets 100 likes, just 100.
What about 100 listens too?
Yeah.
All right.
Not total. It has to be either 100 listens or 100 likes.
All right, bet.
You can post picture.
All right, bet. All right, well, we're gonna kind of wrap it up here, but thanks for spending the evening with us. Hopefully you guys are able to listen on a little spooky evening.
Happy Halloween.
Just kind of as we wind up our first season, our goal was to do bi-weekly episodes. Obviously the holiday season, schedules are coming up, people are traveling and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to do a Thanksgiving special. Okay. Probably talk about some family chaos and what we're not allowed to talk about at the family get together. And then obviously we'll probably have a Christmas special And then if we get some extra time in between there, we'll throw an episode in or two. But just thanks for hanging with us, and thanks for spending your Halloween with us, or your few days after Halloween with us at the Real Ones Real Talks podcast. And if you're home, maybe lock your back door, turn off your lights,
Close
and
that closet door. There's a monster in it.
yeah, make sure there's no jackets hanging on your wall.
Yeah.
And if you're driving, keep your eyes on the road. And if you hit something and it's a dark, scary road, keep driving. And we don't condone hitting and running people, but you
Don't
gotta
go to that hotel.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. But some awesome lessons we learned is don't go hiking by yourself at night. And if you see a light in the distance, don't follow it.
Yeah.
Don't go to it. Just ignore it. What light?
Yeah.
We saw no light.
There's a light there.
Yeah. And I don't know. Don't stay in sketchy hotels.
Yeah.
And especially if ones have water towers on the top, don't drink the water.
4 1,000-gallon.
Yeah. If the water comes out brown, you should probably leave. So
Yeah.
But all right, well, thanks for keeping it real with us. Until next time, stay real, stay grounded, and don't wander off the trail.